Millionaire CEO finds out his surrogate is a virgin. What he did next left her stunned. The medical file slipped from Alexander Sterling's hands, scattering across his mahogany desk like secrets spilling into daylight. The billionaire CEO stared at the highlighted words that changed everything. Patient has no prior sexual experience. His surrogate, the woman carrying his future child, was a virgin. In his pristine corner office overlooking Manhattan, Alexander felt his carefully controlled world tilt off its axis. Meanwhile, 20 blocks away in a fertility clinic waiting room, Emma Brooks clutched her purse with trembling hands, unaware that her deepest secret had just been discovered by the most powerful man in New York. "This has to be a mistake," Alexander muttered, his voice echoing in the empty office. It was past midnight, and he'd been reviewing Emma's medical files one last time before the embryo transfer scheduled for next week. Everything had been perfect. Too perfect, he now realized. The contract was signed. The payment was arranged. $200,000 that would save her sister's life. But this changed everything. Before we dive deeper into this shocking story of secrets, sacrifice, and unexpected connections, I want to know where you're watching from today. Drop your city or country in the comments below, and if this story touches your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss another emotional story like this one. Alexander picked up his phone, his fingers hovering over Dr. Chen's contact. The clinic director had assured him everything was in order. Had she known? Was this some kind of oversight? Or worse, a deliberate deception? The rain began pattering against his floor-to-ceiling windows, mirroring the storm brewing in his mind. He'd spent 2 years planning this. 2 years since Catherine died in that car accident, taking their unborn son with her. The surrogate process was supposed to be clinical, controlled, safe. No emotional attachments, no complications. A virgin surrogate was definitely a complication. 20 blocks away, Emma Brooks sat in the clinic's waiting room, her leg bouncing nervously. She'd told them she needed to use the bathroom, but really, she just needed to move, to breathe, to remind herself why she was doing this. Lily's medical bills were spread across their kitchen table at home. Acute lymphoblastic leukemia, the experimental treatment not covered by insurance, the mounting debt that threatened to drown them both. $200,000. That's what Mr. Sterling was paying for her to carry his child. Enough to save Lily's life, enough to give her 16-year-old sister a chance at a future. Emma had lied on one form, one simple checkbox about sexual history. What did it matter? She was healthy, young, capable of carrying a child. Her virginity was irrelevant to the process, or so she'd thought. Her phone buzzed. "Dr. Chen. Ms. Brooks, there's been a development. Mr. Sterling needs to see you immediately." Emma's heart plummeted. He knew. Somehow, he knew. Alexander's office building loomed like a glass and steel mountain against the night sky. Emma had never been here before. All their previous meetings had been at the clinic, formal, supervised. This felt different, dangerous. The security guard led her to a private elevator that whisked her to the top floor. When the doors opened, she found Alexander standing with his back to her, staring out at the city lights. "You lied," he said, without turning around. Emma lifted her chin, forcing strength into her voice. "I omitted information that wasn't relevant to my ability to carry a child." He turned then, and Emma was struck again by how young he looked for someone so powerful. 35, with dark hair and darker eyes that seemed to see through her carefully constructed walls. "Not relevant?" His voice was dangerously quiet. "You don't think being a virgin is relevant to carrying my child?" "I fail to see how my sexual history affects my uterus," Emma shot back, surprising herself with her boldness. Something flickered in Alexander's eyes. Surprise? Respect. He moved closer, and Emma fought the urge to step back. "Do you know why I chose you, Ms. Brooks?" "Because I'm healthy, have no genetic disorders, and desperately need the money." The words came out more bitter than she intended. "Because you're a survivor," Alexander said, catching her off guard. "I had you investigated. Standard procedure. I know about your parents' death. about raising your sister alone since you were 18, about working 3 jobs to pay for her treatment. You're strong, determined, selfless, the kind of qualities I want passed to my child, even environmentally. Emma's anger deflated slightly. Then what does it matter if I'm a virgin? Alexander walked to his desk, pouring himself a scotch. He offered her one, but she shook her head. It matters, he said slowly, because it means you've never experienced certain things. The hormonal changes, the physical demands. The surrogacy process is invasive, difficult. Most doctors recommend— I've done my research, Emma interrupted. I know what I'm signing up for. Do you? Alexander's gaze was intense. Do you know what it's like to feel a life growing inside you? To have your body change, your hormones surge, to feel that connection and then have to give it away? It's not my child, Emma said firmly. It's yours. I'm just the incubator. Alexander flinched at the clinical term. Is that really how you see it? That's how I have to see it, Emma admitted. My sister is dying, Mr. Sterling. I would sell my soul to save her. Carrying your child for 9 months? That's nothing compared to losing her. They stood in silence, the weight of her words hanging between them. Alexander studied her face, seeing something there that made his expression soften. There's another issue, he said finally. The clinic. They have protocols. Virgin surrogates are complicated, legally, ethically. They'll want to cancel the contract. Emma felt the floor drop out from under her. No, they can't. I need this money. Lily needs— I know what Lily needs, Alexander interrupted. I told you. I had you investigated. I know about the experimental treatment in Switzerland. I know you've mortgaged your parents' house twice. I know you've maxed out every credit card and loan option. Tears burned Emma's eyes. Then you know I can't lose this opportunity. Please, Mr. Sterling. I'll do whatever it takes. Additional contracts, waivers, anything. Alexander set down his glass and walked closer to her. There is another option. Anything, Emma said desperately. We could bypass the traditional surrogacy process. Make it more natural. Emma's blood ran cold. Are you suggesting what I think you're suggesting? No, Alexander said quickly, looking genuinely horrified. No, that's not— I would never— What I meant was— He ran a hand through his hair, suddenly looking vulnerable. I meant we could get married first, he said in a rush. A temporary arrangement. It would satisfy the clinic's legal concerns, protect you from any ethical violations. After the baby is born, we divorce. You get your money, I get my child. Everyone wins. Emma stared at him, certain she'd misheard. You want to marry me? On paper only, Alexander clarified quickly. A business arrangement. You'd live in the guest wing of my penthouse, have access to the best medical care, and Lily could move in too. There's a private nurse on staff. This is insane, Emma breathed. This is practical, Alexander countered. Think about it. You'd have immediate access to my health insurance. Lily could start treatment right away instead of waiting 9 months. You'd have legal protection, financial security, and the pregnancy would be monitored by the best doctors in the city. Emma's mind raced. It was crazy, beyond crazy. But Lily needed treatment now, not in 9 months. Why would you do this? She asked suspiciously. What do you get out of it? Alexander was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was different, softer, sadder. My wife died 2 years ago, he said. She was 7 months pregnant. A drunk driver ran a red light, and just like that they were gone. Catherine and our son. Emma's heart clenched. I'm sorry. I swore I'd never marry again, never risk that kind of loss, but I still want a child, someone to carry on after I'm gone, someone to love. He looked at her directly. A surrogate seemed like the perfect solution. No emotional attachment, no risk of loss beyond the financial, but then you found out your carefully selected surrogate was a virgin who lied on her application, Emma finished. But then I realized I'd chosen someone who understood sacrifice, Alexander corrected. Someone who would do anything for family. Someone who might understand why I need this child so desperately. They stood facing each other, two people bound by desperation and loss. If I agree to this, Emma said slowly, I have conditions. Name them. Lily gets treatment immediately. The best doctors, whatever she needs. Done. The marriage is in name only. Separate bedrooms, separate lives. Of course. And when it's over, when the baby is born, we part ways cleanly. No claims on each other. Alexander nodded. Agreed. I'll have my lawyers draw up the contracts tonight. Emma felt like she was standing on the edge of a cliff. One step forward would change everything. Why do I feel like there's something you're not telling me? She asked. Alexander's jaw tightened. Because there is, but nothing that changes our arrangement. Do we have a deal, Ms. Brooks? Emma thought of Lily, probably asleep in their tiny apartment, unaware that her big sister was negotiating with the devil to save her life. Except Alexander Sterling didn't seem like the devil. He seemed like a man drowning in his own grief, grasping for any lifeline. We have a deal, Emma said, extending her hand. Alexander shook it, his grip firm but gentle. There's one more thing. We'll need to make the marriage look real. My board, the media, the clinic, they'll all be watching. Can you pretend to be in love with me, Ms. Brooks? Emma thought about all the roles she'd played to survive. The strong sister, the responsible guardian, the girl who had everything under control when inside she was falling apart. I've been pretending my whole life, Mr. Sterling. What's one more act? Something flashed in Alexander's eyes. Pain? Understanding? Then we should start with first names. Call me Alexander. Emma, she replied. Well, Emma, Alexander said, moving to his desk and pulling out a small velvet box. If we're doing this, we're doing it properly. He opened the box to reveal a stunning diamond ring, easily worth more than Emma had made in her entire life. This was Catherine's, he said quietly. I know it's morbid, but it would raise fewer questions than buying a new one. The press knows I kept it. Emma stared at the ring that had belonged to a dead woman, that had symbolized a love story cut tragically short. Are you sure? She would have understood, Alexander said with certainty. Catherine always wanted to help people. It's what she would have done. With shaking hands, Emma allowed Alexander to slide the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly, which seemed like either a sign or a curse. What happens now? Emma asked, staring at the foreign weight on her hand. Now we plan a wedding, Alexander said, all business again. Small, private, but public enough to be legal and convincing. Can you be ready in 2 weeks? 2 weeks, Emma's head spun. Lily starts treatment Monday. The sooner we're married, the sooner everything falls into place. He paused. Unless you've changed your mind. Emma thought of Lily's pale face, of the bills piling up, of the doctor's prognosis without treatment. No, 2 weeks is fine. Good. My driver will take you home. Pack what you need for the weekend. We'll need to be seen together, start building our story. The moving company will handle the rest on Monday. This is happening very fast, Emma said, feeling overwhelmed. I find that's the best way to handle difficult things, Alexander replied, like ripping off a bandage. As Emma turned to leave, Alexander called out, Emma? Thank you. I know this isn't what you signed up for. She looked back at him, this powerful man who seemed so alone in his tower of glass and steel. We're both doing what we have to for the people we love. There's no thanks necessary. But as the elevator descended, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that she'd just agreed to something far more complicated than a simple business arrangement. The ring on her finger felt heavy with promises she wasn't sure she could keep. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Alexander. I forgot to mention, there's a charity gala tomorrow night. Our first public appearance. I'll send a stylist to your apartment at 3 p.m. Welcome to my world, Emma. Emma stared at the text, then at the ring, then at her reflection in the elevator's polished doors. In less than an hour, she'd gone from surrogate to fiancé. From Emma Brooks' nobody to the future Mrs. Alexander Sterling, she thought of Lily, of the treatment that would start Monday, of the life she was saving. Whatever came next, whatever Alexander was hiding, whatever this cost her, it would be worth it. It had to be. The next morning, Emma woke to find her phone exploding with notifications. Somehow the news had leaked. "Billionaire Alexander Sterling engaged to mystery woman," screamed the headlines. Paparazzi were already gathering outside her building. A knock at the door made her jump. She peered through the peephole to find a well-dressed woman with a team of people behind her. "Ms. Brooks, I'm Patricia Walsh, Mr. Sterling's publicist. We need to get you ready for tonight." The next few hours were a whirlwind. Stylists, makeup artists, hair professionals, all transforming Emma into someone she didn't recognize. The woman in the mirror looked elegant, sophisticated, worthy of standing next to a billionaire. "You clean up nice," Lily said from the doorway, looking both impressed and worried. Emma had told her about the arrangement, unable to lie to the sister she'd raised. "It's just pretend," Emma assured her. "A business deal to get you treatment." "Is it?" Lily asked, wise beyond her 16 years. "Because that ring looks pretty real. And the way you talked about him last night, be careful. Men like that don't marry women like us without wanting something." "He wants a baby," Emma said simply. "And I want you healthy. Everyone gets what they need." But as the limousine pulled up to take her to the gala, Emma wondered if it could really be that simple. Alexander was waiting outside the hotel, looking devastating in a custom tuxedo. When he saw her, something flickered across his face. Surprise? Appreciation? "Oh, you look beautiful," he said, offering his arm. "You look like you're about to face a firing squad," Emma observed. His lips quirked. "First public appearance since Catherine. The vultures will be circling." "Then let's give them something else to talk about," Emma said, surprising herself with her boldness. She reached up and adjusted his tie, letting her hand linger on his chest. To anyone watching, it would look like an intimate gesture between lovers. "Thank you," Alexander murmured. "You're a natural at this." "I told you I'm good at pretending." But as they entered the ballroom and Alexander's hand found the small of her back, Emma wondered if she was pretending or if something else was happening. Something neither of them had planned for. The gala was overwhelming. Hundreds of New York's elite, all wanting to meet Alexander Sterling's new fiancé. Emma smiled until her face hurt, answered the same questions dozens of times, played the part of the woman in love. "How did you meet?" a society matron asked. "Through a mutual friend," Alexander answered smoothly, his arm around Emma's waist. "I knew the moment I saw her that she was special." "And you, dear?" The woman turned to Emma. "What attracted you to Alexander?" Emma looked up at him, remembering their conversation the night before. The pain in his eyes when he talked about his wife, his desperate need for a child, his unexpected kindness. "His heart," Emma said honestly. "People see the CEO, the billionaire. I see the man who still believes in family despite everything he's lost." Alexander's arm tightened around her, and when she met his eyes, there was something there that hadn't been before. "If you'll excuse us," he said to the woman, "I need to steal my fiancé for a dance." He led Emma to the dance floor, pulling her close as a slow song began. "That was well done," he murmured. "Very convincing." "Who says I was trying to convince anyone?" Emma replied. Alexander pulled back slightly to look at her. "Careful, Emma. This is a business arrangement. Don't confuse fiction with reality." "I'm not confused," Emma said, though her heart was racing from his proximity. "I know exactly what this is." But as they swayed to the music, Alexander's hand warm on her back, Emma wasn't sure either of them knew what this was becoming. "Sterling," a booming voice interrupted them, "heard you were off the market again." Emma felt Alexander tense as a heavy-set man approached, champagne sloshing in his glass. "Richardson," Alexander acknowledged coldly, "and this must be the lucky lady." Richardson's eyes raked over Emma in a way that made her skin crawl. "Quite a step down from Catherine, isn't she? What is she, a secretary? Waitress?" "She's a teacher," Alexander said, the lie smooth but his voice dangerous. "And worth 10 of you." "Teacher?" Richardson laughed. How charitable of you, Sterling. Though I suppose after Catherine you'd want someone more manageable. Emma felt Alexander's body coil like a spring ready to strike. She placed a calming hand on his chest. Actually, Emma said sweetly, I teach special needs children. You know, those who require extra patience and understanding. Much like this conversation. Richardson's face reddened, but before he could respond, Emma continued. Now, if you'll excuse us, I promised Alexander we'd visit the silent auction. They're raising money for the children's hospital, a cause I'm sure even you can appreciate. She steered Alexander away, feeling the tension radiating from him. I should have hit him, Alexander muttered once they were out of earshot, and given him exactly what he wanted. A scandal. Emma shook her head. Men like that feed on reactions. The best revenge is indifference. Alexander stopped walking, looking at her with something like wonder. Catherine would have said the same thing. I'm not Catherine, Emma said gently but firmly. I'm not trying to be. No, Alexander agreed. You're not. I'm your business partner, Emma finished for him. And right now, your business partner thinks we should make a sizable donation to that auction and then get out of here. We've been seen, photographed, gossiped about. Mission accomplished. Alexander nodded, but as they walked toward the auction tables, he said quietly, You're more than just a business partner, Emma. I'm not sure what you are yet. Emma didn't respond, but her heart did a strange flip. This was dangerous territory. She was here for Lily, for the money, for the medical treatment, not for whatever was happening between her and Alexander Sterling. They bid on a few items, Alexander spending more on a weekend getaway he'd never used than most people made in a year, and then made their excuses to leave. In the limo, Emma kicked off her heels with a sigh of relief. How do you do that all the time? Practice, Alexander said, loosening his tie, and usually a lot more alcohol. You barely drank tonight. I needed to stay sharp, protect you from the sharks. He paused. You handled yourself well. Richardson is a pig, but he's a powerful pig. Most people are too scared to stand up to him. I've faced scarier things than a drunk businessman, Emma said quietly. Like what? Emma thought of sitting in the hospital when Lily was first diagnosed, holding her sister as she sobbed, of identifying their parents' bodies after the accident, of the moment she realized she was truly alone in the world, except for a 13-year-old who needed her to be strong. Life, she said simply. Alexander was quiet for a moment. Tell me about your parents. Why? Because in 2 weeks, you'll be my wife. I should know these things. Emma looked out the window at the city lights blurring past. They died in a plane crash 4 years ago, small aircraft flying back from their anniversary trip. I was 20 in my junior year of college. Lily was 13. I'm sorry. Everyone's sorry, Emma said without bitterness. Sorry doesn't pay bills or raise teenagers or make the fear go away. What fear? Emma turned to look at him. The fear that I'll lose her too, that I'll fail her, that I'm not enough. You're enough, Alexander said with surprising firmness. You gave up everything for her. Your education, your youth, your freedom. You're even giving up your body for 9 months. How is that not enough? Because she's still sick, Emma whispered. Because I still can't afford the treatment she needs without selling myself to strangers. You're not selling yourself, Alexander said sharply. You're entering a business arrangement. There's a difference. Is there? I'm marrying you for money. Having your baby for money, how is that different from... Because you have a choice, Alexander interrupted. Because you're doing it for love, not survival. Because... He paused, seeming to struggle with his words. Because you're not just some surrogate to me anymore. The limo pulled up to Emma's building before she could ask what he meant. Alexander got out and walked her to the door, ever the gentleman. The movers will be here at 8, he reminded her. Are you sure you're ready for this? Emma thought of Lily, probably pretending to be asleep inside, worried about her big sister. I'm ready. There's something else, Alexander said, reaching into his jacket. I had my lawyers draw up an additional contract, beyond our original agreement. Emma took the papers, scanning them in the dim light. Her eyes widened. This is a trust fund for Lily, separate from our arrangement. Whether you have my child or not, whether we stay married for 9 months or 9 minutes, her treatment is guaranteed. Full medical expenses, plus college, plus a stipend for living expenses. Alexander, this is millions of dollars. It's peace of mind, he corrected. You shouldn't have to worry about her while you're carrying my child. This ensures you don't. Emma felt tears prick her eyes. Why would you do this? Because I know what it's like to lose everything in an instant, Alexander said quietly. And because you're doing something incredible for me. The least I can do is make sure your sister is taken care of. Without thinking, Emma rose on her tiptoes and kissed his cheek. Thank you. Alexander seemed frozen for a moment, then stepped back. Good night, Emma. I'll see you tomorrow. As Emma watched him walk back to the limo, she touched her lips, still feeling the warmth of his skin. This was supposed to be simple, a business arrangement. But nothing about Alexander Sterling was simple. Inside, she found Lily awake, curled up on the couch. How was it? Her sister asked. Complicated, Emma admitted, sitting beside her. He seems nice, for a billionaire. He is nice, that's the problem. Lily studied her. You like him. I need him, Emma corrected. For you. Lily took her hand. I don't want you to sacrifice your happiness for me. Mom and Dad wouldn't want that either. I'm not sacrificing anything, Emma said firmly. I'm making a choice, and right now, my choice is to get you healthy. Everything else is secondary. But as she lay in bed that night, staring at Catherine's ring on her finger, Emma wondered if that was true. Alexander Sterling was supposed to be a means to an end, so why couldn't she stop thinking about the pain in his eyes when he talked about his wife? Why did his touch make her heart race? And why did the thought of carrying his child suddenly seem less like a business transaction and more like something else entirely? The next morning came too quickly. Movers arrived precisely at 8, efficiently packing up the life Emma had built over the past 4 years. Lily sat on her bed, watching them dismantle her room. It's just temporary, Emma reminded her. Once the baby's born, we'll get our own place. Better than this. I know, Lily said. It's just, this was Mom and Dad's home too. Emma sat beside her sister, pulling her close. Home isn't walls and furniture. It's us together. That doesn't change. A knock interrupted them. Alexander stood in the doorway, looking out of place in their modest apartment in his designer suit. I wanted to check on the progress, he said, then noticed Lily's tears. Is everything all right? Just memories, Emma said. Alexander nodded, understanding in his eyes. He approached Lily carefully like she was a skittish animal. I know this is difficult, he said gently. Leaving your home, trusting a stranger. But I want you to know that you're welcome in mine, not as a guest but as family, for as long as you need. Lily looked up at him, studying his face. Why are you doing this? Really? Alexander glanced at Emma, then back to Lily. Because I lost my family, and your sister is giving me a chance at another one. Taking care of you is the least I can do. That's not what I meant, Lily said. Why her? You could have any woman in the world as your surrogate. Why Emma? Alexander was quiet for a long moment. Because she's the first person since my wife died who made me feel like maybe I could be more than just a ghost walking through life. The honesty of his answer stunned them all. Emma felt her heart skip, while Lily's eyes widened. I should check on the movers, Alexander said quickly, clearly embarrassed by his admission. After he left, Lily turned to Emma. He's in love with you. He's in love with the idea of a family, Emma corrected. There's a difference. Is there? Lily asked. Because the way he looks at you... Drop it, Lily. Please. But Emma couldn't drop it from her own mind. Alexander's words echoed as they finished packing, as they drove to his penthouse, as they entered a world so different from their own, it might as well have been another planet. The penthouse was stunning, floor-to-ceiling windows, marble floors, art that belonged in museums, but it felt cold, unlived in. Your rooms are in the East Wing, Alexander said, leading them through the space. Lily, Yours has been set up with everything the doctors said you'd need. There's a nurse on call 24/7, and your treatment starts tomorrow at Mount Sinai." He showed them their adjoining suites, luxurious beyond anything they'd ever experienced. Lily's had been decorated with obvious thought, filled with books and art supplies and everything a teenage girl could want. "How did you know I liked to paint?" Lily asked, running her fingers over a professional easel. "Emma mentioned it," Alexander said, "during one of our meetings." Emma didn't remember mentioning it, but she stayed quiet. "I'll leave you to settle in," Alexander continued. "Dinner is at 7. My chef will prepare whatever you like." "You have a chef?" Lily whispered after he left. "Apparently we have a chef now," Emma said, feeling overwhelmed. They spent the afternoon exploring their new home, trying to reconcile their modest life with this luxury. Emma found herself drawn to the library, its shelves filled with first editions and rare books. "Catherine loved to read," Alexander's voice came from behind her. Emma turned, finding him in the doorway, having changed into jeans and a sweater. He looked younger, more approachable. "I'm sorry," Emma said. "I didn't mean to intrude." "You're not intruding. This is your home now, too." He entered the room, running his fingers along the spines. "I haven't been in here since she died. Too many memories." "Tell me about her," Emma said impulsively. Alexander looked surprised. "Why?" "Because she was important to you. Because I'm wearing her ring. Because—" Emma struggled for words. "Because I think you need to talk about her." Alexander sank into one of the leather chairs, and Emma sat across from him. "She was everything I wasn't," he began. "Warm where I was cold, open where I was closed. She made me human." "How did you meet?" "She was my nurse," Alexander said with a small smile. "I'd been in a skiing accident, broke my leg in 3 places. I was a terrible patient, demanding, rude, impossible. She put me in my place within 5 minutes." "Sounds like someone else I know," Emma said, thinking of how she'd handled Richardson. "You do remind me of her sometimes," Alexander admitted. "Not physically, but your strength, your refusal to be intimidated, your fierce love for your sister." "Is that why you chose me?" Emma asked quietly. "Because I reminded you of her?" "No," Alexander said firmly. "I chose you because you're you. Because when I read your file, I saw someone who understood sacrifice, who would do anything for family." He paused. "I didn't expect..." "Didn't expect what?" "To feel anything," he finished. "This was supposed to be clinical, detached. But then you walked into my office that night, ready to fight for your sister, and something I thought had died with Catherine stirred." "Alexander, I know," he said quickly. "Business arrangement, I haven't forgotten. But Emma, I need you to know. What I said to Lily this morning about you making me feel less like a ghost, that wasn't part of the act." Emma's heart was racing. This was dangerous. So dangerous. "We should keep things professional." "You're right," Alexander agreed, standing. "I apologize, it won't happen again." But as he left the library, Emma wondered if either of them could keep that promise. Dinner was less awkward than expected, mainly thanks to Lily, who peppered Alexander with questions about his business, his travels, his life. He answered patiently, seeming to enjoy her curiosity. "Have you always wanted kids?" Lily asked over dessert. "Catherine and I planned to have 4, Alexander said. "We had names picked out and everything." "What were they?" "William for a boy, after my grandfather. Rose for a girl, after Catherine's grandmother." He smiled sadly. "We were going to name the baby she was carrying William." "What about now?" Lily pressed. "What will you name Emma's baby?" "Lily," Emma warned. "It's all right," Alexander said. "I haven't thought about it. It seemed like bad luck to plan too far ahead." "But you have to have some ideas," Lily insisted. Alexander glanced at Emma. "I suppose that's something Emma and I should discuss. After all, she's the one who will be carrying him or her for 9 months." "You'd give me a say?" Emma asked, surprised. "Of course, this might be a business arrangement, but you're not just an incubator. You're..." He paused. "You're the mother." "Biological mother," Emma corrected. "Not the real mother." "Is there a difference?" Lily asked innocently. The question hung in the air, heavy with implications none of them wanted to examine too closely. "It's getting late," Emma said, standing. "Lily has treatment tomorrow." "Of course," Alexander said. "The car will be ready at 7. I'll accompany you if that's all right." "You don't have to." "I want to," he said firmly. "We're in this together now." As Emma tucked Lily into bed that night, her sister said, "I like him." Lily, I know, business arrangement, but he's not what I expected. He's sad and lonely and kind of sweet when he forgets to be all CEO-ish." "Don't get attached," Emma warned. "This is temporary." "Maybe," Lily said, "or maybe you both just need to stop being so scared." "Scared of what?" "Of being happy," Lily said simply. "You've been in survival mode since Mom and Dad died. Maybe it's okay to want more than just survival." Emma kissed her sister's forehead. "When did you get so wise?" "Probably when I got cancer," Lily said matter-of-factly. "Really puts things in perspective." As Emma prepared for bed in her luxurious suite, she thought about Lily's words. Was she scared of being happy? Had she been in survival mode so long she'd forgotten how to want things for herself? A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. She opened the door to find Alexander holding a mug. "Chamomile tea," he said. Catherine used to say it helped with nerves before big days. Emma accepted the mug gratefully. "Thank you for everything. The trust fund, the treatment, taking care of Lily." "Stop thanking me," Alexander said. "We're helping each other, remember?" "Right. Business partners." "Business partners," he agreed, but his eyes said something different. They stood there for a moment, the air between them charged with possibility. "Good night, Emma," Alexander finally said. "Good night, Alexander." But long after he left, Emma stood by her window, sipping tea and staring out at the city lights, wondering how a business arrangement had become so complicated so fast. The next morning brought the reality of Lily's treatment. The hospital was a flurry of activity, doctors and nurses and specialists all focused on saving her sister's life. Alexander stayed with them through every consultation, asking intelligent questions, taking notes, making sure they understood every aspect of the treatment plan. "The experimental therapy has shown remarkable results," Dr. Patel explained, "but it's intensive. 3 times a week for the first month, then we'll reassess." "Side effects?" Emma asked, gripping Lily's hand. "Fatigue, nausea, possible hair loss. But compared to traditional chemotherapy, it's much more targeted." "And the success rate?" Alexander asked. "In patients Lily's age with her specific markers, 85% complete remission." Emma felt tears of relief. Those were better odds than they'd ever been given before. "When do we start?" Lily asked, brave as always. "Today, if you're ready," Dr. Patel said. As they prepared Lily for her first treatment, Alexander pulled Emma aside. "You should eat something. This is going to be a long day." "I'm not hungry." "That wasn't a suggestion," he said gently. "Lily needs you strong. Come on, the cafeteria here is actually decent." They found a quiet corner in the hospital cafe. Emma picked at a sandwich while Alexander sipped coffee. "You're good with her," Emma said. "With Lily." "I had a younger sister," Alexander said. "She died when she was 8. Leukemia, actually." Emma's sandwich turned to ash in her mouth. "Alexander, I had no idea." "Is that why I'm so invested in Lily's treatment?" "Partly." He stared into his coffee. "Sarah would have been 30 this year. Sometimes I wonder who she would have become." "Is that why you want children so badly? To honor her memory?" "Catherine used to say I was trying to fill all the holes in my life with future children," Alexander admitted. "She was probably right. But after she died, the need became consuming. Like if I could just have a child, something of me would survive. Something good." Emma reached across the table, covering his hand with hers. "You are good, Alexander. Damaged and complicated, and sometimes infuriating, but good." He turned his hand over, interlacing their fingers. "You barely know me." "I know enough," Emma said. "I know you're spending millions to save a girl you just met. I know you stayed up researching her condition last night. I saw the lights under your office door. I know you're here instead of at your company because you understand she's scared." How do you know she's scared? She seems remarkably brave. Because I know Lily. She jokes when she's terrified. Emma squeezed his hand. Thank you for being here, for caring. I care about both of you, Alexander said quietly. More than I should. More than our arrangement allows. Before Emma could respond, her phone buzzed. The treatment had started. They returned to find Lily hooked up to an IV, chatting with a boy in the next bed about video games. She looked small, but determined. Hey, she said, seeing them. This isn't so bad. Tyler here says the worst part is the boredom. Emma spent the rest of the day by Lily's side, while Alexander worked on his laptop in the corner, fielding calls and running his empire from a hospital room. Every time Emma looked over, he was there, steady and present. By evening, Lily was exhausted but in good spirits. As they prepared to leave, Dr. Patel pulled them aside. She did wonderfully. The next few days might be rough as her body adjusts, but this is very promising. In the car home, Lily dozed between them, her head on Emma's shoulder. She's strong, Alexander said softly, like her sister. She shouldn't have to be strong, Emma whispered. She should be worried about boys and homework, not cancer. But she is strong, and she has you. That makes all the difference. When they arrived home, Alexander carried Lily to her room, settling her gently in bed, while Emma fussed with blankets and medications. You two are cute together, Lily mumbled sleepily. Go to sleep, Emma said, kissing her forehead. Seriously, like a real family. After Lily fell asleep, Emma found Alexander in his study, staring at a photo on his desk. Catherine? She asked. He nodded. Our wedding day. She was so beautiful, so full of life. I thought we had forever. No one gets forever, Emma said gently. We just get moments. The trick is making them count. Alexander looked at her. Is that what we're doing? Making moments count? I don't know what we're doing, Emma admitted. This was supposed to be simple. I carry your baby, you save my sister, but it's not simple, Alexander finished. Nothing about you is simple, Emma Brooks. Soon to be Emma Sterling, she reminded him. We should probably discuss the wedding. This Saturday, my lawyers have handled the paperwork. We just need to show up. That's 4 days away. Is that too soon? Emma thought about it. They were already living together, already pretending to be in love. What difference would a piece of paper make? No, she said. Let's do it. The sooner we're married, the sooner we can proceed with the pregnancy. Something flickered in Alexander's eyes. Disappointment? Right, the pregnancy. That's what this is about. Isn't it? Alexander stood, moving to the window. 3 weeks ago, yes. That's all it was about. Having a child to carry on after I'm gone. But now, he turned to face her. Now I find myself looking forward to coming home because you're here. I find myself caring about a 16-year-old girl's treatment more than million-dollar deals. I find myself wondering what it would be like if this wasn't just an arrangement. Alexander, we can't... I know, he interrupted. I know we can't. You're here for Lily. I'm here for a baby. That's the deal. But Emma, what if it could be more? Emma's heart was pounding. You're still grieving, Catherine. I'm still processing my parents' death. We're both broken, Alexander. 2 broken people don't make a whole. Maybe not, he agreed. But maybe they make something new. Something neither of them expected. I can't, Emma whispered. I can't risk Lily's treatment, her future, on feelings that might not be real. That might just be proximity and shared trauma and the intimacy of what we're about to do. Alexander nodded slowly. You're right, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have... Don't apologize, Emma said. Just, let's stick to the plan. Marriage, baby, divorce, clean and simple. Clean and simple, Alexander repeated. But they both knew it was already too late for that. The next few days passed in a blur of wedding preparations and hospital visits. Lily responded well to treatment, though the fatigue hit her hard. Alexander hired a wedding planner to handle the details, insisting on a small ceremony at his family's estate in the Hamptons. Just family and close friends, he assured Emma. No media circus. I don't have family except Lily, Emma reminded him. And my close friends are... Well, I haven't had time for friends since my parents died. Then it'll be very small, Alexander said gently. Intimate. That word, intimate, hung between them, loaded with meaning. The night before the wedding, Emma found herself unable to sleep. She wandered into the kitchen for water and found Alexander there, nursing a scotch. Nervous? He asked. Terrified, Emma admitted. You? Same. He poured her a glass of wine. To calm the nerves. They sat at the kitchen island, the space between them charged with unspoken words. I have something for you, Alexander said suddenly, producing a small box. A wedding gift. Emma opened it to find a delicate necklace with a small compass pendant. It was my grandmother's, Alexander explained. She gave it to me before she died, said to give it to the woman who helped me find my way home. Alexander, I can't... Please, he said. It doesn't have to mean anything more than friendship, but I want you to have it. Emma let him fasten it around her neck, his fingers brushing her skin and sending shivers down her spine. Thank you, she whispered. Emma, Alexander said, his voice rough. Tomorrow, when we say those vows... They're just words, Emma said quickly. For the paperwork. Right, he agreed. Just words. But as Emma returned to her room, fingering the compass at her throat, she wondered if any words were ever just words when spoken between two people dancing around the truth. The wedding day dawned bright and clear. Lily, despite her exhaustion, insisted on helping Emma get ready. You look beautiful, she said, as Emma stepped into the simple white dress Alexander had sent. It was elegant, but understated, perfect for a small ceremony. It's not a real wedding, Emma reminded her. Feels real to me, Lily said. Looks real too. And the way Alexander looks at you, that's definitely real. Before Emma could protest, there was a knock at the door. Patricia, Alexander's publicist, entered with a smile. Ready? The car's waiting. The drive to the Hamptons was quiet, Lily dozing in the back seat while Emma tried to calm her racing heart. This was just business, she told herself, just paperwork. But when they arrived at the estate, and she saw Alexander waiting at the end of a flower-lined aisle, looking devastating in his dark suit, her heart forgot it was supposed to be business. The ceremony was held in the garden, overlooking the ocean. Only a handful of people were present: Alexander's lawyer, Patricia, a few close business associates, and surprisingly, Dr. Patel and some of the nursing staff who'd been caring for Lily. You invited them, Emma whispered, as Alexander took her hands. They're part of our story, he said simply. It seemed right. The officiant began the ceremony, and Emma tried to focus on the words being just formalities. But when it came time for vows, Alexander went off script. Emma, he said, his voice carrying across the garden, you came into my life when I thought I had nothing left to give. You showed me that strength isn't about never falling, but about getting back up. You've given me hope when I had none. I promise to protect you, support you, and stand by you for as long as you'll have me. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Those weren't business arrangement vows. Those were real vows, real promises. When it was her turn, she found herself speaking from the heart as well. Alexander, you saved my sister's life. But more than that, you've shown us both that there are still good people in the world, people who give without expecting anything in return. I promise to be honest with you, to support your dreams, and to care for you, always. She'd almost said love. The word had been right there on her lips. You may kiss the bride, the officiant said. Alexander stepped closer, his hand cupping her face gently. Is this okay? He whispered. Emma nodded, and then his lips were on hers, soft and warm, and nothing like the business arrangement they'd planned. She melted into him, her hands gripping his jacket, the world fading away until there was just this moment, this kiss, this man who was supposed to be temporary, but felt like forever. When they finally broke apart, the small crowd was applauding, but Emma only had eyes for Alexander. That was, she started. Not part of the plan, he finished. I know. I'm sorry. Don't be, Emma whispered. Please don't be sorry. The reception was small, but perfect. Lily gave a toast that had everyone in tears, talking about how her sister had always been her hero, but now she'd found someone worthy of her. To Emma and Alexander, Lily concluded, may your love story be everything you both deserve. As they danced to their first song as husband and wife, Alexander held Emma close. Your sister is quite the romantic, he murmured. She gets it from our mother, Emma said. Mom always believed in fairy tales. And you? I stopped believing when they died, Emma admitted. It was easier to focus on reality, on survival. And now? Emma looked up at him. This complicated man, who'd upended her carefully controlled world. Now I'm not sure what I believe. Believe in this, Alexander said, spinning her gently. Believe in us even if it's just for tonight. So Emma did. She let herself believe in the fairy tale just for one night. Tomorrow they could go back to their arrangement. Tomorrow she could remember this was temporary. But tonight in Alexander's arms, with Lily smiling from her seat and the ocean singing in the background, Emma let herself believe in happily ever after. The drive back to the city was quiet, all three of them lost in their own thoughts. Lily had fallen asleep against Emma's shoulder, exhausted from the day's excitement. She was a beautiful bridesmaid, Alexander said softly. She was determined to stand through the whole ceremony, Emma replied, even though I told her she could sit. Stubborn, like her sister. It's a family trait. They lapsed into silence again, but it was comfortable, the kind of silence that exists between people who've shared something profound. When they arrived home, and when had she started thinking of the penthouse as home? Alexander carried Lily to her room while Emma got her medications ready. Good wedding, Lily mumbled as they tucked her in. You two looked happy. Go to sleep, sweetheart, Emma said. I mean it. Real happy. Not pretend happy. After Lily was settled, Emma and Alexander found themselves alone in the hallway, still in their wedding clothes. I should... Emma gestured vaguely toward her room. Emma, wait. Alexander caught her hand. Today was... Perfect, Emma finished. Today was perfect. Thank you. That kiss was perfect too, Emma said, then quickly added, very convincing for the guests. Right, for the guests. Alexander's thumb stroked over her wedding ring. Emma, I need to tell you something about the surrogacy process. Emma's heart sank. Back to business already. What about it? Dr. Chen called yesterday. She said given your status, she recommends we wait a month before the embryo transfer to make sure you're physically and emotionally prepared. A month? Emma tried to hide her relief. A month more of this pretend marriage, of living with Alexander, of letting herself believe. Is that a problem? No, Emma said quickly. Whatever the doctors think is best. Good. Alexander released her hand reluctantly. Good night, Mrs. Sterling. Good night, Mr. Sterling. But neither of them moved. They stood in the hallway, eyes locked, the air between them electric with possibility. Alexander, Emma whispered. I know, he said. I know we can't. I know this is business. I know you're here for Lily. But Emma, She kissed him, rose up on her tiptoes and pressed her lips to his, cutting off whatever confession he was about to make. This kiss was different from the one at the ceremony, desperate, hungry, full of all the things they couldn't say. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Emma stepped back. That was a mistake, she said. Was it? Yes, I can't. Lily needs... You're right, Alexander said, though he looked like it physically pained him. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry. Stop apologizing, Emma said. We're both adults. We're both lonely. It's natural that we'd what? Get confused, Emma finished lamely. Is that what this is? Confusion? Emma didn't answer because she didn't know. Was it confusion? Proximity? Shared trauma? Or was it something more, something real, something that could destroy everything they'd carefully built? "I should go," Emma said finally. "Early hospital visit tomorrow." "Of course. I'll have breakfast ready at 7. "You don't have to." "I want to," Alexander said firmly. "That's what husbands do, isn't it? Take care of their wives?" The word wife sent a shiver through Emma. "This isn't a real marriage, Alexander." "Isn't it?" he challenged. "We live together. We care for Lily together. We stood before witnesses and made vows. We're wearing rings. What makes a marriage real, Emma?" "Love," Emma said quietly. "Love makes it real." Alexander stepped closer. "And what if—" "Don't," Emma interrupted. "Please don't. Not tonight. Not when everything feels like a fairy tale. Talk to me tomorrow, in the harsh light of day, when we both remember what this really is." She fled to her room before he could respond, before she could see the hurt in his eyes or feel the pull to go back to him. In her room, Emma sat on the bed in her wedding dress, fingering the compass necklace. "Find your way home," Alexander's grandmother had said. But where was home? Was it the apartment she'd shared with Lily, full of memories of their parents? Was it this penthouse, where she was starting to build something new? Or was home not a place at all, but a person with dark eyes and a broken heart who was trying so hard to heal? A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. "Emma," Alexander's voice through the door. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pressure you. I wanted you to know that whatever this is or isn't, I'm grateful you're here." Emma pressed her hand against the door, wishing she had the courage to open it. "I'm grateful too," she whispered, not sure if he could hear her. His footsteps retreated, and Emma finally changed out of her wedding dress, hanging it carefully in the closet. Tomorrow they'd go back to their arrangement. Tomorrow she'd remember why she was here. But tonight she fell asleep, clutching the compass necklace, dreaming of a different life where the marriage was real and the kisses weren't mistakes. The next morning brought reality crashing back. Lily woke up violently ill from the treatment, and Emma spent hours holding her hair back, rubbing her back, whispering reassurances. "I'm okay," Lily kept saying between bouts of nausea. "This means it's working, right?" "That's right, sweetheart," Emma soothed, though her heart broke watching her sister suffer. Alexander appeared with ginger tea and crackers, moving quietly around them, helping without being asked. He held a cool washcloth to Lily's forehead while Emma changed the bedsheets, then sat with her while Emma showered and changed. "You don't have to stay," Emma said when she returned. "I know you have work." "Work can wait," Alexander said simply. "Family comes first." That word, family, hung in the air between them. "We're not—" Emma started. "Aren't we?" Alexander asked quietly. "Whatever label we put on it, we're in this together. The three of us." Lily, despite her misery, managed a weak smile. "See? Family." The days fell into a rhythm. Hospital visits, treatment sessions, quiet evenings at home. Alexander adjusted his schedule around Lily's needs without being asked, working from home more often, attending every important appointment. One evening, 2 weeks after the wedding, Emma found him in Lily's room reading to her from one of her favorite books while she dozed. "You don't have to do that," Emma said softly. "I want to," Alexander replied. "She reminds me of Sarah, my sister. Same fighting spirit." Emma sat on the arm of his chair, looking down at her sleeping sister. "Tell me about Sarah." "She was brilliant," Alexander said, his voice warm with memory. "Funny, kind, stubborn as hell. She wanted to be a doctor, said she was going to cure cancer." His voice caught. Instead, cancer took her. "I'm sorry," Emma whispered. "She would have liked you," Alexander continued. "Both of you. She always said I was too serious, needed someone to make me laugh." "Do I make you laugh?" Alexander looked up at her. "You make me feel things I thought I'd never feel again. Laughter is just part of it." "Alexander." "I know," he said. "Business arrangement. But Emma, every day I watch you with Lily, see your strength, your love, your sacrifice, and I think Catherine sent you to me." "Don't," Emma said, but her protest was weak. She would have wanted me to be happy, Alexander continued. She would have wanted me to find love again. Is that what this is? Emma asked, her heart pounding. Love? Before Alexander could answer, Lily stirred. If you two are going to have a moment, could you do it somewhere else? Some of us are trying to sleep. Emma laughed, the tension breaking. Sorry, Lil. Don't be sorry, Lily mumbled. Just be honest. Life's too short for anything else. As they left Lily's room, Alexander caught Emma's hand. She's right, you know. Life is too short. Alexander, in 2 weeks we're supposed to start the surrogacy process. I'm supposed to carry your child and then leave. How can we... Maybe we don't, Alexander said suddenly. Don't what? Don't do the surrogacy. Don't leave. He pulled her closer. Emma, what if we tried this for real? What if we gave this marriage a chance? You're suggesting we stay married, have a baby the traditional way? Emma's head spun. I'm suggesting we stop pretending we don't have feelings for each other, Alexander said. I'm suggesting we see where this could go. And if it doesn't work, if we try and fail, what happens to Lily's treatment? What happens to... Alexander silenced her with a kiss, soft and sure. The trust fund is irrevocable. Lily's treatment is guaranteed no matter what happens between us. This isn't about money or contracts anymore, Emma. This is about us. There is no us, Emma said weakly, even as she melted into his embrace. We're too different. You're a billionaire CEO. I'm nobody. You're everything, Alexander corrected. You're the woman who brought light back into my life, who made me want to live again, not just exist, who showed me that family isn't about blood or contracts, but about choosing each other every day. You barely know me, Emma protested. Then let me know you, Alexander said. Give us a chance, a real chance. Emma wanted to say yes. Every fiber of her being wanted to say yes. But the practical part of her, the part that had kept her and Lily alive for 4 years, held back. I need time, she said finally. To think, to process. This is all happening so fast. Take all the time you need, Alexander said. I'm not going anywhere. That night, Emma lay awake thinking about Alexander's proposition. Stay married, have a baby together, build a real family. It was everything she'd never let herself dream of, but what if it failed? What if the intensity of their situation had created false feelings? What if she was just another replacement for Catherine, another attempt to fill the void his wife had left? Unable to sleep, she wandered to the kitchen for water and found Alexander's laptop open on the counter. She wasn't snooping, but her eyes caught on an open email. From Catherine, Sterling, a memorial.org. Subject, Annual Remembrance. Dear Mr. Sterling, as we approach the 2nd anniversary of Catherine's passing, we wanted to confirm your attendance at the memorial service. Emma's heart clenched. Of course. The anniversary was next week. No wonder Alexander was emotional, talking about Catherine wanting him to be happy. He was approaching a difficult date, vulnerable and lonely. Was that all this was? Grief manifesting as attraction to the first woman who showed him kindness. Emma? She spun to find Alexander in the doorway. I couldn't sleep, she said quickly. I just came for water. I wasn't... It's okay, he said, seeing the open laptop. The memorial service, I'd forgotten it was coming up. Will you go? I should. Catherine's parents expect it, but... He ran a hand through his hair. It's hard. Pretending I'm still the grieving widower when... When what? When I'm falling in love with my new wife, Alexander said simply. Emma's breath caught. You can't mean that. Why not? Because you're grieving. Because I'm convenient. Because you're scared, Alexander finished. So am I. Terrified, actually. But Emma, this isn't about Catherine or grief or convenience. This is about you and me and something neither of us expected. How can you be sure? Alexander moved closer. Because when I think about the future now, I don't see Catherine. I see you. I see Lily healthy and happy. I see children with your eyes and your strength. I see a life I never thought I'd want again." "Alexander," Emma's voice broke. "Tell me you don't feel it too," he challenged. "Tell me this is all one-sided and I'll back off. We'll go back to our business arrangement. But if you feel even a fraction of what I feel—" "I feel it," Emma admitted, the words torn from her. "Of course I feel it. But feeling isn't enough. My parents felt it, and they died and left us alone. You and Catherine felt it, and she died and left you broken. Feeling it doesn't protect us from losing it." "No," Alexander agreed, "but not feeling it doesn't protect us either. It just ensures we're alone." He was right. Emma knew he was right, but knowing and accepting were two different things. "The memorial," she said, changing the subject. "Do you want me to go with you?" Alexander looked surprised. "You'd do that?" "We're married," Emma said simply. "Wives support their husbands." "Even in a business arrangement?" "Even then." Alexander smiled, soft and grateful. "Thank you. It would help to have you there." "Then I'll be there." They stood in the kitchen, the laptop's glow casting shadows between them, and Emma made a decision. "Alexander? About your proposition." "Yes?" "Ask me again after the memorial. After we've gotten through that. If you still feel the same way—" "I'll still feel the same way," Alexander said with certainty. "Then ask me again," Emma repeated, "and I'll give you an answer." Hope bloomed in Alexander's eyes. "That's all I can ask for." As Emma returned to her room, she wondered what she'd just agreed to. The memorial would be emotional, difficult. Would it clarify Alexander's feelings or confuse them further? And what about her own feelings? Because the truth was, she was already in love with him. Had been falling since that first night in his office when he'd shown vulnerability beneath the CEO exterior. Every day of watching him with Lily, every gesture of kindness, every moment of shared understanding had deepened what she felt. But love wasn't always enough. Her parents had loved each other and still died. Catherine had loved Alexander and still left him alone. Sometimes love was just another way to lose everything. The memorial was held at St. Patrick's Cathedral, grand and solemn. Emma dressed carefully in a black dress Alexander had sent to her room, conservative but elegant. When she emerged, she found him in the living room, adjusting his tie with shaking hands. "Let me," she said softly, reaching up to fix it. "I hate this," he admitted. "Performing grief for people who didn't really know her." "Then don't perform," Emma suggested. "Just be. You loved her. You lost her. That's real, regardless of what's happened since." "What's happened since?" Alexander repeated, his hands coming to rest on her waist. "You mean you?" "Among other things. You're not a thing that happened, Emma. You're—" He struggled for words. "You're a miracle I didn't know to pray for." "Don't," Emma whispered. "Not today. Today is about Catherine." "You're right." Alexander stepped back. "I'm sorry." "Don't be sorry. Just let's get through today." Lily was too sick from her latest treatment to attend, staying home with the nurse. Emma felt guilty leaving her, but Lily had insisted. "He needs you more than I do today," she'd said with wisdom beyond her years. The cathedral was packed with New York's elite, all come to pay respects to the tragic young widow and her lost child. Emma felt out of place among the designer black and inherited pearls, but Alexander kept her close, his hand never leaving hers. "Alexander," a cultured voice said, "how good of you to come." Emma turned to see an older couple, their faces marked by grief. Catherine's parents. "Margaret, Robert." Alexander's voice was carefully neutral. "This is Emma, my wife." Margaret's eyes sharpened. "Yes, we heard about your sudden marriage. Rather soon, don't you think?" "Mother," a younger woman intervened, "this isn't the place." Emma recognized her from photos. Catherine's sister, Diana. "It's all right," Emma said quietly. "I understand this must be difficult." "Difficult?" Margaret's voice rose. My daughter hasn't even been dead 2 years, and he's already replaced her with—" She looked Emma up and down dismissively. "With whatever you are." "That's enough," Alexander said sharply. "Is it?" Robert spoke for the first time. "Catherine loved you, trusted you, and this is how you honor her memory, with some gold-digging nobody?" Emma felt Alexander tense beside her, ready to explode, but she squeezed his hand. "You're right," she said calmly. "I am nobody. I'm not from your world. I don't have a trust fund or a pedigree. But I do know what it's like to lose someone you love, and I know that grief makes us say things we don't mean." Margaret's face crumpled slightly. "She was my baby, my only child." "I know," Emma said gently, "and nothing will ever replace her. I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to help Alexander heal. Isn't that what she would have wanted?" "Catherine would have wanted him to mourn properly," Robert said stiffly. "Not rush into another marriage with the first woman who—" "Enough," Diana interrupted. "Mom, Dad, stop. This isn't what Catherine would have wanted, and you know it." She turned to Emma. "I'm sorry about them. Grief makes people cruel sometimes." "I understand," Emma said. "Do you?" Diana studied her. "Alexander loved my sister completely. Whatever you think you have with him, it will always be compared to that. Can you live with being second best?" Before Emma could answer, the service began. They took their seats, Alexander's hand gripping hers tightly. The eulogies were beautiful, painting a picture of a vibrant woman taken too soon. When it was Alexander's turn to speak, he hesitated. "Go," Emma whispered. "I'll be right here." Alexander made his way to the podium, his usual confidence shaken. He looked out at the crowd, then down at his prepared remarks, then crumpled the paper. "Catherine hated speeches," he began. "Said they were just words dressed up to impress people. She preferred truth even when it was messy." A ripple of surprise went through the crowd at his informal tone. "So here's the truth," Alexander continued. "I loved my wife. I loved her laugh, her kindness, her way of seeing the best in everyone. I loved the life we were building, the child we were going to raise. When I lost her, I thought I'd lost everything." His eyes found Emma in the crowd. "But Catherine always said that love multiplies. It doesn't divide. That the heart has infinite capacity for growth. I didn't understand what she meant until recently." Margaret made a sound of protest, but Alexander continued. "I know some of you think I've betrayed her memory by remarrying, but I think Catherine would understand. She wouldn't want me to live in the past, wouldn't want me to close myself off from the possibility of happiness. She'd want me to live, fully and completely. That's what I'm trying to do." He looked directly at Catherine's parents. "I will always love your daughter. She made me who I am, but that doesn't mean I can't love again. It doesn't diminish what we had. If anything, it honors it, because Catherine taught me that love is worth the risk, worth the pain, worth everything." When he returned to his seat, Emma saw tears on his cheeks. She handed him her handkerchief without a word. "Thank you," he whispered. The rest of the service passed in a blur. At the reception afterward, people gave them a wide berth, though Emma caught plenty of stares and whispers. She was about to suggest they leave when Diana approached. "That was brave," she said to Alexander. "What you said. Catherine would have appreciated the honesty." "Would she?" Alexander asked. Diana smiled sadly. "She always said you were too controlled, too afraid of being vulnerable. I think she would have been proud to see you open up like that." She turned to Emma. "Take care of him. He's a good man who's been through hell." "I will," Emma promised. As they finally made their escape, Alexander was quiet. Emma let the silence stretch, knowing he needed time to process. "She was wrong," he said finally as they entered the penthouse. "Who?" "Diana. When she asked if you could live with being second best." He turned to face Emma. "You're not second best. You're not a replacement or a consolation prize. You're you, unique and irreplaceable." "Alexander, no, let me finish. I've been thinking about this all wrong, comparing what we have to what I had with Catherine. But that's not fair to either of you. What Catherine and I had was beautiful, but it's over. What you and I have is different, new, and maybe that's exactly what it should be. Emma felt tears prick her eyes. What are we doing, Alexander? Really? I don't know, he admitted, but I know I don't want to do it without you. Emma, I'm ready to give you my answer to your question. What question? Whether I still want this, us, to be real. After the memorial, after facing my past, he moved closer. The answer is yes, more than ever. Even knowing I'll never be Catherine. Because you're not Catherine, Alexander corrected. Because you're Emma, strong, fierce, loyal Emma, who fights for her sister and stands up to grieving parents and makes me want to be better than I am. I'm scared, Emma admitted. I'm terrified of wanting this and losing it. So am I, Alexander said, but I'm more terrified of never trying, of letting fear keep us from something that could be extraordinary. Emma thought of Lily, probably asleep upstairs, fighting cancer with more courage than most adults could muster. She thought of her parents, who'd loved boldly despite knowing life was fragile. She thought of Catherine, who'd wanted Alexander to find happiness again. Okay, she whispered. Okay, let's try. For real this time. No contracts, no arrangements, just us. Alexander's face transformed with joy. Really, really. But we take it slow. We date. We learn each other. We don't rush into anything just because we're already married. We can do that, Alexander agreed. We can do whatever you need. And the surrogacy? Can wait, or not happen at all, or happen naturally, whatever feels right when we get there. Emma laughed, feeling lighter than she had in years. You know this is crazy, right? We're doing everything backwards. Maybe that's our way, Alexander said, pulling her close. Meet at my lowest moment, get married for business, fall in love by accident. Is that what this is? Emma asked. Love? What else would you call it? Emma thought about it. The way her heart raced when he walked into a room. The way she felt safe in his arms. The way he'd become essential to her and Lily's life in such a short time. Love, she agreed. Unexpected, inconvenient, absolutely terrifying love. The best kind, Alexander said, and kissed her. This kiss was different from all the others. No desperation, no guilt, no holding back. Just two people choosing each other despite the odds, despite the fear, despite everything. When they broke apart, Emma laughed. Lily's going to be insufferable. She's been rooting for this since day one. Smart girl, Alexander said. We should probably tell her. They found Lily awake, reading in bed despite her exhaustion. How was the memorial? She asked. Difficult, Alexander answered honestly, but clarifying. Clarifying how? Lily's eyes darted between them, noting their joined hands. We're going to try, Emma said. For real. Alexander and we're going to see where this goes. Lily's face lit up. Finally! Do you know how exhausting it's been watching you two dance around each other? Lily, Emma warned. What? It's true. You've been in love with each other for weeks. Nice of you to finally notice. We were not, Emma started. He reads me bedtime stories. He learned to make your favorite tea. You wear his grandmother's necklace every day. You're both disasters at hiding feelings. Alexander laughed. Out of the mouths of babes. I'm 16, not 6, Lily protested. And I'm right. Yes, Emma agreed, sitting on the edge of Lily's bed. You're right, as usual. So what happens now? Lily asked. Now we see, Alexander said. We take it one day at a time, build something real. Good, Lily said decisively, because I already think of you as family. Nice to make it official. It was already official, Emma pointed out. We're married. That was paperwork, Lily dismissed. This is real. As they left Lily to rest, Emma marveled at how simple her sister made it sound. Paperwork versus real. Business versus love. She's right, you know, Alexander said, as they walked to their separate bedrooms. This is real. I know, Emma said. That's what makes it terrifying. Good terrifying or bad terrifying? Emma considered. Both, but mostly good. I can work with mostly good, Alexander said. Good night, Emma. Good night, Alexander. But neither moved. They stood in the hallway, hands still linked, neither wanting to break the spell of the evening. This taking it slow thing, Alexander said finally. Does that mean separate bedrooms? For now, Emma said, though every part of her wanted to say no. We've moved so fast already. I think we need to build a foundation before we complicate things further, Alexander finished. You're right. Of course you're right. But maybe breakfast together. Real breakfast, not just grabbing coffee while discussing Lily's treatment schedule. I'd like that, Alexander said. I make excellent pancakes. Another hidden talent? I'm full of surprises, Mrs. Sterling. I'm beginning to see that, Mr. Sterling. They finally parted, but Emma lay awake for hours, replaying the day. The memorial, the confrontation with Catherine's parents, Alexander's speech, their decision to try for real. It should feel like too much, too fast. But instead, it felt like coming home, like all the broken pieces of their lives were finally forming a new picture. Her phone buzzed. A text from Alexander. Can't sleep, keep thinking about pancakes and you, but mostly you. Emma smiled, typing back. Go to sleep. You can think about me tomorrow. Already am. It's past midnight. Good night, Alexander. Good night, Emma. Thank you for today. For everything. Emma set her phone aside, fingering the compass necklace. She'd found her way home. It just wasn't the home she'd expected. The next morning, true to his word, Alexander made pancakes. Emma woke to the smell of coffee and bacon, finding him in the kitchen wearing an apron that said, "Kiss the cook." "Where did you get that?" she laughed. "Lily gave it to me. Said if we were doing this for real, I needed to look the part. She's not wrong, you look very domestic." "Feel free to follow the apron's instructions," Alexander said with a grin. Emma surprised herself by doing just that, rising on her toes to kiss him softly. "Good morning." "Very good morning," Alexander agreed. "How did you sleep?" "Better than I have in years," Emma admitted. "You?" "Same. Turns out, confessing your feelings is good for insomnia." They were interrupted by Lily shuffling in, looking pale but determined. "I smelled pancakes," she said. "Real pancakes, not the healthy ones Emma makes." "Hey," Emma protested. "My pancakes are fine." "Your pancakes taste like cardboard," Lily said bluntly. "Alexander's smell like heaven." "Everyone's a critic," Emma muttered, but she was smiling. They ate breakfast together, like a real family. Alexander had made enough food for an army, claiming he wasn't sure what everyone liked. Lily managed a few bites, which was more than she'd eaten in days. "So," Lily said, pushing her food around, "now that you two are together for real, what changes?" "Nothing has to change," Emma said quickly. "We're still focused on your treatment." "That's not what I meant," Lily said. "I meant, are you going to stop tiptoeing around each other? Maybe actually sleep in the same room. Act like a married couple." "Lily!" Emma's face flushed. "What? I'm 16, not 6. I know how relationships work." "We're taking things slow," Alexander explained, "getting to know each other without the pressure of the arrangement." "You've been living together for almost a month," Lily pointed out. "You've seen each other at your worst. What else is there to know?" "She has a point," Alexander said, earning a glare from Emma. "Don't encourage her." "I'm just saying, life's short," Lily continued. "Why waste time pretending you're not crazy about each other?" "From the mouths of babes," Alexander murmured again. "Still 16," Lily protested. After breakfast, Alexander had to go to the office for the first time in weeks, a crisis with the Tokyo branch that required his personal attention. "I can cancel," he offered. "Stay here with you both." "Go," Emma insisted. "We'll be fine. Lily has treatment this afternoon, but it's just a quick session." "You'll call if you need anything?" "We'll call," Emma promised. After he left, Lily fixed Emma with a knowing look. "You're falling hard." "I've already fallen," Emma admitted. "Past tense. Completely gone. Good. He's been gone on you since day one. Lily paused. Are you going to have the baby? His baby? I don't know, Emma said honestly. We haven't discussed it. Everything's different now. But you want to? Emma thought about it. Maybe, eventually, when you're better, when we're more stable. I'll always have cancer, Lily said matter-of-factly. Even in remission, it'll be part of me. You can't put your life on hold waiting for the perfect moment. When did you get so wise? Probably around the 3rd round of treatment, Lily said. Really puts things in perspective. That afternoon at the hospital, Dr. Patel had good news. The treatment is working better than expected. The cancer cells are responding remarkably well. If this continues, we might be looking at remission sooner than anticipated. Emma felt tears of relief. Really? Really? Lily's a fighter, Dr. Patel smiled. And having a strong support system makes all the difference. Mr. Sterling's involvement has been particularly helpful. He's not even here today, Emma said. No, but he calls every morning for updates. He's arranged for the best specialists to consult. He's even funding research into this specific type of leukemia. Dr. Patel paused. You found a good one, Mrs. Sterling? I did, Emma agreed, no longer pretending otherwise. When they got home, Alexander was already there, having left work early despite the crisis. I couldn't concentrate, he admitted. Kept thinking about the appointment. How did it go? Tell him, Em, Lily said excitedly. Dr. Patel thinks she might achieve remission sooner than expected, Emma said, fresh tears falling. The treatment is working. Alexander swept them both into a hug, and Emma felt the tension he'd been carrying release. That's incredible, he said. We should celebrate. Dinner out. Lily, are you feeling up to it? I'm feeling up to ice cream, Lily said. Lots of ice cream. Ice cream it is, Alexander agreed. The place with 31 flavors? The place with the fancy gelato, Lily corrected. If we're celebrating, we're doing it right. As they prepared to leave, Emma caught Alexander's arm. Thank you for caring about her, for making those calls to the doctors, for everything. She's family, Alexander said simply. That's what family does. Is that what we are? Emma asked. Family? Isn't it? Alexander pulled her close. You're my wife. She's my sister. That sounds like family to me. Your sister? Emma repeated. If that's okay. I know I can't replace your parents, but it's perfect, Emma interrupted. She needs all the family she can get. So do I, Alexander admitted. So do I. That evening, as they sat in the gelato shop watching Lily debate between flavors, Emma felt a contentment she hadn't experienced since before her parents died. This makeshift family, born of necessity and grown through choice, was becoming something real. Hey, Alexander said softly. You okay? More than okay, Emma said. I'm happy. Really, truly happy. Good, Alexander said, taking her hand, because I plan to keep you that way. Bold promise, Mr. Sterling. I'm a bold man, Mrs. Sterling. Yes, Emma agreed, thinking of everything that had brought them to this moment. Yes, you are. As Lily finally chose her flavors, 3 different kinds because celebration, Emma made a decision. Taking it slow was safe, sensible. But Lily was right. Life was too short for safe and sensible. Alexander? She said as they walked home, Lily bouncing ahead despite her exhaustion. Yes? I don't want to take it slow. He stopped walking. What? I don't want separate bedrooms and careful distances and pretending we're not already all in. I want to be your wife. Really your wife. I want to wake up next to you and plan our future, and maybe, when the time is right, have your baby. Our baby. Emma. Alexander's voice was rough with emotion. Unless you've changed your mind. He silenced her with a kiss, right there on the sidewalk, not caring who saw. Changed my mind? Emma, I've been dreaming of this since the moment you walked into my office ready to fight for your sister. Then let's stop wasting time, Emma said. Let's be a family, a real family. We already are, Alexander said. But yes, let's make it official in every way. Guys, Lily called from ahead. "Stop making out on the sidewalk. People are staring." They laughed, catching up to her, and Emma thought about how much had changed since that night in Alexander's office. She'd walked in desperate to save her sister, willing to sell herself to a stranger. Instead, she'd found love, found family, found home. "No regrets?" Alexander asked as they entered their building. "No regrets," Emma confirmed. "Best business arrangement I ever made." "Not a business arrangement anymore," Alexander reminded her. "No," Emma agreed, smiling. "Something much better." As they rode the elevator up to their penthouse, their home, Emma fingered the compass necklace. She'd found her way home indeed. It just happened to be in the arms of a man she'd never expected to love, with a sister who was getting better every day in a life she'd never dared to dream of. Sometimes the best things came from the worst circumstances. Sometimes desperation led to hope. Sometimes a virgin surrogate and a grieving billionaire could find their way to each other and create something beautiful from their broken pieces. "What are you thinking?" Alexander asked as they entered their home. "That I love you," Emma said simply. "That I love this life we're building. That I love our family." "Our family," Alexander repeated. "I love the sound of that." "Me too," Lily said, yawning. "But I love the sound of my bed calling more. Night, guys. Try not to be too loud celebrating." "Lily!" Emma protested, but her sister was already heading to her room, laughing. "She's incorrigible," Emma said. "She's perfect," Alexander corrected, "just like her sister." "I'm far from perfect." "Perfect for me," Alexander clarified. "Perfect for us. Perfect for this life we're building." As they stood in their living room, the city lights twinkling beyond the windows, Emma knew he was right. She wasn't perfect, neither was he. But together, they were creating something perfectly imperfect, something real and lasting and theirs. "So," Alexander said, a new heat in his eyes, "about those separate bedrooms." "What about them?" Emma asked innocently. "I think we should rectify that situation immediately." "I think you're right," Emma agreed. "After all, we are married." "Very married," Alexander confirmed, sweeping her into his arms, "and getting more married by the minute." "Is that possible? With us, anything's possible." As he carried her to what would now be their bedroom, Emma sent up a silent thank you to whatever force had brought them together, the virgin surrogate and the grieving billionaire, finding love in the most unexpected way. It wasn't the story she'd planned to write with her life, but it was the story she was meant to tell. And the best part? It was just beginning. "I love you, Alexander Sterling," she said as he set her down gently. "I love you, Emma Sterling," he replied. "Thank you for saving me." "We saved each other," Emma corrected. "That's what family does." And as the night wrapped around them, two broken people made whole by choosing each other, Emma knew that everything and every struggle, every fear, every desperate choice had led them exactly where they needed to be. Home. The next morning, Emma woke in Alexander's arms, sunlight streaming through the windows. For a moment, she just lay there, marveling at how right it felt. "You're awake," Alexander murmured, his arms tightening around her. "How do you know?" "My eyes are closed." "Your breathing changed. Also, you're smiling." Emma opened her eyes to find him watching her. "Creepy, Mr. Sterling." "Devoted, Mrs. Sterling," he corrected. "There's a difference." "Is there?" "Absolutely. Creepy would be watching you sleep from across the room. Devoted is watching you sleep while holding you." "I see the distinction," Emma laughed. "Very important difference." "I'm glad you understand. Now, about that baby we discussed." Emma's eyes widened. "Alexander!" "What?" "I'm just saying we're officially trying this for real. The marriage is real. Might as well make the baby real too." "Slow down there, eager beaver. We just got together officially 12 hours ago." "Technically, we've been married for 3 weeks," Alexander pointed out, "and I've been in love with you for at least 2 of those weeks." "At least 2? Emma teased. "Fine, all 3. Happy?" "Ecstatic," Emma said, kissing him. "But we're still not making a baby this morning. Lily has treatment, and I need coffee, and you have that Tokyo crisis." Tokyo can wait, Alexander said, pulling her closer. But you're right about the coffee. Your need for caffeine is legendary. Says the man who drinks espresso like water. We're very compatible in our coffee addiction, Alexander agreed. See? Perfect for each other. A knock on the door interrupted them. Are you guys decent? Lily called. Because I need breakfast and I'm not above barging in. We're decent, Emma called back, laughing at Alexander's disappointed expression. Speak for yourself, he muttered, but got up to put on a shirt. They found Lily in the kitchen, looking better than she had in days. The new treatment protocol was definitely working. So, she said, grinning at them, how was your first night as a real married couple? Lily, Emma warned. What? I'm happy for you. It's about time you stopped the whole tragic separated lovers thing. We were not tragic separated lovers, Alexander protested. You literally pined from separate bedrooms, Lily pointed out. That's pretty tragic. She has a point, Emma admitted. Don't encourage her, Alexander said, but he was smiling. As they prepared breakfast together, Emma's phone rang, an unknown number. Hello? Mrs. Sterling. This is Diana Morrison, Catherine's sister. I hope I'm not calling too early. Emma's stomach dropped. Diana. No, it's fine. Is everything okay? Alexander looked up sharply at Catherine's name. I wanted to apologize for my parents' behavior at the memorial, Diana said. And I have something for you. For Alexander, really, but I think it should come through you. Could we meet for coffee? Emma glanced at Alexander, who nodded. Of course. When? This afternoon. I know it's short notice, but I'm flying back to London tomorrow. They arranged to meet at a cafe near the hospital after Lily's treatment. When Emma hung up, Alexander was frowning. What could she have for me? He wondered. Only one way to find out, Emma said. Are you okay with me meeting her alone? If you're comfortable with it. Diana was always the reasonable one in that family. That afternoon, after seeing Lily settled for her treatment, Emma walked to the cafe. Diana was already there, a small box on the table in front of her. Emma, she stood, offering a genuine smile. Thank you for coming. Of course. How are you? Better than my parents, Diana said wryly. They're still processing their grief through anger. But that's not why I asked you here. She pushed the box across the table. This was Catherine's. She left it for Alexander, for when he was ready to move on. Emma's hands trembled as she opened the box. Inside was a letter and a small velvet pouch. She wrote it when she found out she was pregnant, Diana explained. Said if anything happened to her, I should give it to Alexander when he found love again. I think she knew somehow that she might not make it. Call it intuition or paranoia, but she wanted him to know. Know what? Emma asked softly. Read the letter. But not here. With him. It's meant for both of you, I think. Emma closed the box carefully. Diana, can I ask you something? Of course. Do you really think Catherine would be okay with this? With Alexander and me? Diana smiled sadly. Catherine loved Alexander more than life itself, but she also knew him better than anyone. She knew he'd blame himself if anything happened to her. She knew he'd close himself off, refuse to love again out of some misguided loyalty. So yes, I think she'd be more than okay with you. I think she'd be grateful. Even though I'm nothing like her? Especially because you're nothing like her, Diana said firmly. Alexander doesn't need another Catherine. He needs an Emma. Someone who challenges him, who makes him work for it, who sees past his walls. From what I've observed, that's exactly what you do. They talked for a few more minutes before Diana had to leave. As they parted, she hugged Emma. Take care of him, she said, and let him take care of you. That's all Catherine would want. Emma returned to the hospital to find Alexander sitting with Lily, reading to her from a medical journal. It's fascinating, Lily was saying, the way the treatment targets specific cells. You're such a nerd, Emma said fondly. Both of you. Knowledge is power, Lily said. Plus, if I understand what's happening, it's less scary. Fair point. Emma caught Alexander's eye. Can I talk to you for a minute? They stepped into the hallway, and Emma handed him the box. Diana gave me this. It's from Catherine, For you. For us. Alexander stared at the box like it might bite him. From Catherine. She wrote it when she was pregnant. Diana was supposed to give it to you when you found love again. Emma, I don't know if I can... We'll read it together, Emma promised. When you're ready. There's no rush. Alexander pulled her close. What did I do to deserve you? You offered a desperate woman a chance to save her sister, Emma said. The rest is history. The best history, Alexander agreed. They returned to Lily, who was starting to doze from the treatment. As they prepared to take her home, Dr. Patel appeared with a bright smile. I have excellent news. Lily's latest tests show the cancer is retreating faster than we anticipated. At this rate, we might achieve full remission within 2 months. Emma felt her knees go weak with relief. Alexander steadied her, his own eyes bright with emotion. 2 months, Emma repeated. You're sure? As sure as we can be with cancer, Dr. Patel said. But all indicators are extremely positive. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. The combination of treatment and emotional support is working wonders. As they drove home, Lily sleeping in the back seat, Emma felt overwhelmed by the turns her life had taken. 6 weeks ago, she'd been desperate, alone, willing to do anything to save her sister. Now she had a husband who loved her, a sister on the road to recovery, and a future bright with possibility. What are you thinking? Alexander asked, glancing at her. That Diana was wrong. I'm not the miracle in your life. You're the miracle in mine. Can't we both be miracles? Alexander suggested. Mutual miracledom. That's not a word. It is now. I'm rich. I can make up words. Emma laughed, reaching over to take his hand. I love you. I love you too, both of you. My girls. Your girls, Emma repeated, liking the sound of it. Though technically, you're our boy. I can live with that, Alexander said, happily. That evening, after Lily was settled in bed, Emma and Alexander sat in his study with Catherine's letter between them. We don't have to read it tonight, Emma said. Or ever, if you're not ready. No, Alexander said. I want to. I need to. Will you read it? I don't think I can. Emma opened the letter with careful hands, her voice soft as she began, My dearest Alexander, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone, and you've done the impossible. You've found love again. I know you, my darling. I know you're probably drowning in guilt right now, feeling like you're betraying me. So let me say this clearly. You are not. Love is not finite. The heart doesn't have a maximum capacity. Loving someone new doesn't diminish what we had. If anything, it honors it. It means I taught you well, that love is worth the risk, worth the pain, worth everything. I don't know who she is, this woman who's captured your heart, but I know she must be extraordinary because you don't love lightly. You love with everything you have, completely and forever. She's lucky to have that. Just as I was lucky to have it for the time we were given. Be happy, my love. Be ridiculously, absurdly happy. Have the children we dreamed of. Build the life we planned, not as a monument to me, but as a testament to the power of moving forward. And to the woman reading this with you, because I know you, Alexander, you won't read this alone. Thank you. Thank you for seeing past his grief to the man underneath. Thank you for being brave enough to love someone with a complicated past. Thank you for giving him a future. Take care of each other, love boldly, live fully, and know that somewhere, somehow, I'm cheering you on. All my love, Catherine P.S. In the pouch is my grandmother's ring, the one I always said I'd give to our daughter. If you have a girl, it's hers, a gift from one mother to another. By the time Emma finished reading, they were both crying. Alexander pulled her into his lap, holding her tightly. She knew, he whispered. Somehow, she knew I'd need permission. She loved you, Emma said simply. Real love wants happiness for the beloved, even when it can't be part of it. Alexander pulled back to look at her. You know what this means, don't you? What? We have Catherine's blessing, to be happy, to have children, to live fully. We do, Emma agreed. So what do we do with it? We honor it, Alexander said firmly. We be ridiculously, absurdly happy. We have those children. We build that life. Starting when? Starting now, Alexander said, kissing her deeply. Right now. Alexander, Emma laughed against his lips. We can't start making babies in your study. Why not? It's our house. Because Lily has superhuman hearing and will never let us live it down. Good point, Alexander conceded. Bedroom. Bedroom, Emma agreed. As they stood to leave, Emma picked up the velvet pouch. Inside was indeed a ring, a delicate band with a small sapphire surrounded by diamonds. It's beautiful, she breathed. For our daughter, Alexander said softly, when we have one. When, not if. Definitely when. I have a feeling we're going to have a house full of children, boys, girls, whatever comes, and they're all going to be loved beyond measure. I like that plan, Emma said, though maybe we start with one and see how it goes. Deal, but I'm hoping for at least 3. 3? Emma laughed. Ambitious. Go big or go home, Alexander said. Besides, Lily needs lots of nieces and nephews to boss around. She'll be an excellent aunt, Emma agreed. The cool aunt who spoils them rotten, while we're the boring parents who make them eat vegetables and do homework. Speak for yourself, I plan to be the cool mom. You'll be the perfect mom, Alexander said seriously. Just like you've been the perfect sister, the perfect wife, the perfect partner. Now you're just trying to get lucky, Emma teased. Is it working? Maybe a little. They made it to their bedroom, Catherine's blessing tucked safely in Alexander's desk drawer, her ring waiting for a future daughter. But the past was gently laid to rest that night, making room for the future Emma and Alexander would build together. Later, as they lay entwined, Alexander said, I just realized something. What's that? We never actually had a honeymoon. We got married and went straight into real life. Our whole marriage has been a bit backwards, Emma pointed out. True, but I think we deserve a proper honeymoon. Once Lily's in remission, what do you say to 2 weeks somewhere tropical? Just us, no phones, no responsibilities. That sounds like heaven, Emma sighed. Though Lily will want to come. Lily will be too busy being a normal teenager to want to vacation with her boring married sister, Alexander said. Besides, I'm thinking clothing-optional beaches, definitely not appropriate for 16-year-olds. Alexander Sterling, Emma laughed, swatting him. Scandalous. Only with you, he said, pulling her closer. Only ever with you. As sleep finally claimed them, Emma thought about the strange journey that had brought them here. A virgin surrogate and a grieving billionaire, finding love in the most unexpected way. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, Lily's continued treatment, the reality of blending their lives, the possibility of children of their own. But tonight, they were just Emma and Alexander, husband and wife, partners, family. And that was more than enough. It was everything. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, love often comes from the most unexpected places, and sometimes the arrangements we make for survival become the foundations for our greatest joys. Thank you for watching, and remember, every ending is just a new beginning in disguise.